Girl, you are quitting your 9 to 5 today. But before you do, there's a few things that you need to know in order to make sure that it's the right choice and that you do it successfully. Because the worst thing you could do is quit your 9 to 5 and then flail about in your business and have nothing to show for it. That's not what we want. We're going to make sure that if you actually do ditch the 9 to 5, which I highly recommend if you do it right, that you have success from doing so. There's a few things I want you to know. One, you can have massive business growth if you ditch the 9 to 5 correctly. Also, there are ways to make sure that you don't waste your newfound time once you quit. There are also ways to get your spouse on board. Not all spouses are supportive of the entrepreneurial lifestyle. Just because they don't get it doesn't mean they can't get on board. I got my husband on board. I'm going to tell you how. And then finally, there's this one really big thing most business coaches never ever freaking tell you, and I wish they did. I really freaking wish they did, because if you don't know it, then quitting your 9 to 5 will be in vain, and you're gonna regret it, and you're gonna have to go back to your 9 to 5, and you're gonna be miserable. I'm gonna let you know what that is so you can save all of that misery and get straight to the successful ditching of the 9 to 5. So let's get into it, shall we? First of all, quitting a 9 to 5 can be huge for your business growth, because once you quit, you have all of this newfound time with which to fully focus on your business. Personally, I have found it can be a bit difficult if you're in any kind of field that takes a lot of mental space. You don't have mental space left over for your own business growth. It's a lot on your little brain. I mean, you've got a big brain, let's face it. You're a genius entrepreneur, so your brain is bigger than most. So while you do have capacity for a lot, it's hard to have capacity for all the 9 to 5 jazz and the business growth jazz. Usually, one of them takes precedence, leaving the other one to the floor. If it's your business that's successful, your boss is gonna find out and fire you anyway. Or worse, you're giving all of your energy to your 9 to 5 and your business is failing. So actually taking the plunge, which I know can be super, super scary, diving in full on to your business is a huge step toward propelling your business towards success because of two things. One, you just bet on yourself. Ditching your 9 to 5 told you, hey, I believe in this and I know it can grow. Two, you're giving yourself the space to fully think and brainstorm, and all of your shower time is now towards your business and not the 9 to 5. Oh, the expansion is glorious. Even though you get 8 hours back, it feels like you have 16 because your brain has so much space to breathe and be and thrive. Not in the 9 to 5. But there is a trap that a lot of entrepreneurs get in when they ditch the 9 to 5, and I want to make sure you do not get in that trap. And what that trap is space to waste. What do I mean? You have 8+ hours to devote fully towards your business. So your brain tells you, oh, I have all the time in the world. I'm just gonna do some laundry. I'm going to scrub all of the counters. I'm going to clean out the basement. You have time to do all of those things. But what you don't want to do is to start all of those things without a plan. Now that you have all of the time in the world, you need to be strategic about how you plan out that time. Every week, I have a bullet journal that lists every task I want to complete, and I strategically plan when I will complete each task. And it's highly successful. For me personally, I only spend 3 hours a day on my business. That's it. 3 hours, but it grows successfully. And that's important to me because I have children who come home at 3 o'clock and I want to be very present with them. But you're like, Sierra, 3 o'clock, what do you do the other 3 to 4 to 5 hours that they're in school? I go to the gym. I do self-care. I take care of my brain. I take care of my soul. Those are all essential parts of being a thriving, successful business owner. Your newfound time without the 9 to 5 is beautiful, but it's absolutely nothing if you waste it. So strategically plan where in your day you're going to work, where in your day you're going to be with your family, where in your day you're going to work on your house. All of these things are an essential part of having a successful business and a thriving home. Because if your home isn't thriving, you're not thriving, so you can't show up for your business. Now you might be asking yourself, how do I get that all done? How do I stay on top of it? My secret is my community. Highly, highly recommend having community hold you accountable. If you want a community, I've got one. It's free. There's a link below. It's called the Light Up Movement. You can join us and we'll help hold you to stick to your goals. Now, how to get that spouse on board. The best advice I can give you is to point out all of the ways you can help your house to thrive in your lack of 9 to 5. So for me personally, right now, I've got a sick kid home. He was also sick 2 weeks ago. And guess who picks him up? Guess who takes him to the doctor? Guess who calls and makes all of the doctor's appointments for me, my husband, and my kid, and the cats and the dog? I take care of all the emotional workload because I'm home during 9 to 5 hours when most businesses are open and they close. Guess what? When my husband gets off work. So he can't do a lot of the things that I can do because I don't have a 9 to 5. Just because I don't have a 9 to 5 doesn't mean that I'm going to start slacking around the house. Now, I'm not saying you're home all the time, so you have to take care of everything and the basement, but I still make sure to show up and give a full effort, a little bit more than normal, to prove that my time at home is valuable, more valuable than my time at a 9 to 5. Also, just having a conversation. A lot of times you can sit down with your spouse, if they are an understanding spouse, and say, hey, here's my dream. This is the goal that I want to achieve. Let's set a time frame that's reasonable for you and see where my business is in that time frame. If I'm not making X amount of dollars by 6 months from now, or fill in your blank of what works for your time frame, then we can reassess. I will happily go back to work because I want to provide for this family. My goal in ditching my 9 to 5 is to provide exponentially more for my family. I would love your support. I will have far greater success with your support. So please, do I have your blessing? Because I'll need it right now. Those are the conversations I have with my husband. And I will say, non-entrepreneurial minded spouses have a really hard time with failure. It's not that they don't believe in you. It's that they don't want to see you sad. The entrepreneur journey has failures. It's honestly the only way to grow. You are not going to quit your 9 to 5 and make $1 million tomorrow. If you did, you'd be crazy, and you're probably selling your lady bits online, which you shouldn't be doing. Lady bits. So from the get-go, tell your spouse there will be hard moments. I am not guaranteeing an overnight success, but just cheer me on. And then my personal recommendation is don't talk through the failures with them. Find a community of entrepreneurs who understand you. The Light Up Movement is free. You are welcome to join us. I actually withhold a lot more information from my husband about my business than I used to. Not out of any disrespect to him, but just out of the fact that he gets heartbroken every time my business has a dip, and his heartbreak can be discouraging to me. We've discussed together. I'm going to share less with him. He understands it, and I keep going strong. And now finally, here's the thing that no coaches talk about. That's not true. Marie Forleo talks about it, and she is a highly successful entrepreneur. If she agrees with it, I think it's worth its weight in gold. I wish more entrepreneurs would talk about it because I think it is so essential, and it will help you stay out of your 9 to 5 longer. And that is get a job. What? That doesn't make any sense. You're talking about quitting your 9 to 5. Why am I going to go get a job? Not a 9 to 5 job. A job that has low energy, low mental workload, but still pays the bills. So for me personally, I am a server at a local tavern. Yep. I go in a couple nights a week. I get to interact with other people, and my mind is only on serving. When I clock out, I'm done. And it pays the bills. I'm not making bank at this job, but I'm making enough to keep me out of a 9 to 5 for a little bit longer while my business grows. The beginning of your entrepreneurial phase is going to be low income. You have to prepare for that. You're not going to be buying everything on Amazon Prime Day, despite how much I really want to. Maybe I just will. No, we're not going into debt over stupidity. But genuinely, the beginning stages of a business are low income. So having a little bit of supplemental income is smart because it can keep you growing your business to high income instead of having to go back to a 9 to 5 because you're running out of cash. Plus, there is so much value in being a part of a business because if you're out of a job for too long, you start to forget how businesses are run. So you stop running your business as a business. But when you're in any job, whether it's McDonald's or Google, you see how an efficient business is run or the things that they shouldn't be doing, and you know how to implement that into your own business. So I highly recommend you get a job, and serving or bartending is a really good one. And now one last little tiny piece of encouragement that I want you to know. I believe in you. Not everybody's going to believe in this journey that you're on. It's highly controversial to quit your 9 to 5 to chase an entrepreneurial dream, but all the greats did it. You can do it too. I absolutely believe in you. And if you're not exactly sure where to start, there's also a link for a checklist on how to start your business right. I have that. It's absolutely free below for you. My community, the checklist, I'm lavishing you in freebies because I believe in you and I want you to succeed. Take this bravery, my dear friend. Girl, you got this.